before I go outside. This is I'm just trying. I don't actually. This isn't one where I have a vested interest in saying this. So like, if I get the sign, like, no, like, that's okay. But it's important. I think it's important. Partly because it's the one thing that I think is important that I always refer back to the gal with the tattoos on her hands with the dog, with Vlad the Impaler dog, who was like the only person when I landed in her thing, like, who looked like my kind of person. The only person in the entire, like, very few people like that in California. And certainly San Francisco. That's something that I based on when I realized people are seeing videos like that she, like, like hearing also or something, which is this. Okay, when I say, like, when I have this, like, hostility about, this, like, social science class that they call themselves liberal, but they're like these experts in social science and this and that. And I say, well, yeah, like, they're always gonna think someone like me is mentally ill, like they're limited intelligence, like, they when they get in control, this and that happen. It happened started in the '90s. Um, what I said is about the psychoanalysis cult is I said, look, I said whether or not they admit it, these type of people, like, psychoanalysts, psychiatrists, all these social science people, they're in a political movement. But I said because I was in our thing, I was like the right wing guy in our thing, like both satirically and not. I mean, it was like, that's who I, like, sort of played in our event. I said, whether or not these type of people admit they're in a political movement or with the history, I mean, whatever they think they're doing. I said, what the right winger thinks that means. To say someone's in a political movement means it's the most extreme form of antagonism, in this case against the group it's studying. In other words, it's the most extreme form of antagonism against, like, whatever it is these type of people have chosen to do a study on. When a form of antagonism is so extreme that it could drive a person to suicide, that is, it's an existential threat to the person, or that a rational person, being signaled by other rational people for rational reasons, gets institutionalized, and they're either driven to do something psychotic or driven to suicide. Right. What's happening is they're deploying the most extreme form of antagonism against the group they're studying. That's why every wing of it is a political movement. Including when you go see this. Quite frankly, do anything they're doing. It's diffuse. As Foucault says, I mean, you can't. It's still, whether they overtly admit it or not. It's because it's the most extreme form of antagonism against the other. That's why it's a political movement, even when they're not overtly doing something political. It's used politically in the Soviet Union, we know, but that's a story for another time.